And residents of northern Israel have seen near daily missile attacks for over 9 months. Some 80,000 Israelis remain displaced, unable to return to their homes, and there is no end in sight. Joining us now to discuss the situation in the north is Eliyahu Berkowitz, a resident of Katzrin in the Golan Heights, and Yaakov Selavan, deputy head of the Golan Regional Council. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you.
So Eliyahu, let's start with you. Can you share with us what it's been like for you, for your family, these past few months?
Well, in the beginning, it was not very intense here. Most of the focus was on the south. But as time goes on, there's more and more rockets falling, more rockets and closer. Some have fallen inside the city. Also, we don't get warnings. The alarm sounds at the same time as the rockets fall. It's been a lot of fires. Most of the fields around the city is burned. And I was in the army, but being in my house with my family while rockets are falling is a very different experience.
It's really an unimaginable reality, which is people are not necessarily aware of just how much rocket attacks are hitting northern Israel. Now, Yaakov, I want to turn to you. 2 people were just murdered, a husband and a wife, leaving behind 3 children. You know, as deputy head of the regional council, I mean, do you see a solution in sight?
Unfortunately, the answer right now, by the way the Israeli government and the army are operating, the answer is no. I think the big question we need to ask ourselves is if tomorrow a deal is signed between Hezbollah to Israel, will the 80,000 residents of the Galilee, which are evacuated from their homes, come back and feel safe? And unfortunately, the answer is no, which means right now, people here don't feel secure. People here don't trust the systems enough that they feel, okay, a deal can be reliable. And therefore, unfortunately, we're right now in the fog. You know, we're in a fog of uncertainty. We don't know where this thing is going to. And every time we speak with decision makers, from the prime minister to generals in the army, we keep on asking, what's the end game? What do you want to achieve here in the north?
And Eliyahu, you know, you're hearing this after 9 months of almost daily rocket fire. I mean, has the thought of leaving the area, relocating, has it crossed your mind?
Well, when the attack after October 7th, my wife and I discussed it. I mean, we're talking about our children, and we have American citizenship. We were even thinking about going back to the States. We feel safer here than we would as Jews in the United States. I was feeling very safe in the Golan. The attacks are getting stronger, and to be honest, I would be thinking about sending my wife and kids to friends somewhere else. This is my home. I've been living here 10 years. Moving, I just don't even want to think about it. Running away, I don't want to think about it. Mm-hmm. And I think most of the residents of Katzrin were very strong together. There's a very strong feeling of togetherness. We're in this together. Together we can win.
And Yaakov, you know, you're hearing from Eliyahu, you know, what he and his family are going through. You and your family are sharing this same reality. You were just about to say something. Go ahead.
I want to add on to what Eliyahu said. Up to now, we haven't heard of anyone who has left. And in our regional council, we had no request of people who want to leave. Life here is not easy in the last 9 months. However, we understand, and I say we, the whole Golan community, including Katzrin, we understand that we have a purpose. We are Israel's frontier. We are facing Syria and Lebanon. And we understand that the enemy is not just trying to fight the Israeli army. They're fighting us, the people. They want to take apart our communities. They want to disconnect us from our land. And we will not give them this pleasure. Every day that we wake up and there's 80,000 people evacuated from their homes in the Galilee, it is a strategic and moral failure. And we in the Golan will not allow this to happen to us. And we demanded the decision makers and the army to defend us, so Eliyahu and his family and my family can live here safely and not be worried like we are in these rough days.
Also, ultimately, as Jews, we've got nowhere else to go.
An important point. And, Yaakov, I do want to turn to you again. You mentioned that people don't feel safe currently. What do you think needs to be done? What does Israel need to do now to ensure that people can return home, can restore that sense of security and safety in their lives?
I think it all, first of all, starts with leadership. Last night, when I went to Kibbutz Ortal, where we lost our two dear residents, Noah and Nir, there wasn't that much that I was able to do, but the fact that I was there with them, in their pains, in their tears, hugging them, embracing them, it meant the world for them. And that's the job of leadership, to be there when it's hard. And so the first thing that people need to feel that the government is here with them. The government is present. It starts with supporting different programs for community resilience. It starts, I'm standing here, behind me is a bomb shelter, but we are lacking. There are thousands of homes in the Golan without bomb shelters, and we need the government to get involved here. Aside from that, I began with saying that if tomorrow there is a deal, will people come back to their homes? And the answer is no. That's because we understand that Hezbollah hasn't paid a heavy price, not enough. Something needs to happen that Hezbollah understands that you don't mess with us. And it can't be that my daughter is scared to go to kindergarten, and in Lebanon, kids are living normally. It's something we can't accept.
And Eliyahu, do you share this feeling? Do you share this assessment?
Absolutely. Even though I will say that since October 7th, I wouldn't say we've been under constant rocket attack, but I've been listening all day, every day, 7 days a week. The Israeli Air Force is overhead working. And I've seen the preparations up here from the IDF. We're about to get into a different stage where things are going to get very, very hard, and we have to stay together on this. We have to stay strong. And I totally agree. This is our home. We have to stay here. We have to be together, and we have to show the enemy this is our homeland. We're going to be here.
Absolutely right.
Right now, there's a security zone. Yeah, sorry. Right now, there's a security zone on Israeli soil. So what we demand in order to make sure that people can come back to their homes, the security zone needs to be on the other side. The enemy needs to pay a price.
All right. Well, Yaakov and Eliyahu, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
We hope for better days. We hope to host you here for cherry picking and the good stuff that Golan has to offer on regular days.
And you're all invited to stop by for coffee.
Absolutely. We'll hope for quieter days. Thank you both.